Hey, what's going on, Jags Nation? It's Brett James back again with another video. And today, man, I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars 2021 offseason recap here for you guys today. Now, look, I know I'm maybe a couple days late. I've just been super busy, but I know that this is going to be a really great video, and I'm really excited to finally get through and talk about everything now that obviously all the coaches and staff were put together. Of course, we had free agency, and of course, we had one of the biggest drafts in our franchise's history. So I'm here today to present the Jags 2021 NFL offseason recap. So let's stop wasting time, man. Let's hop right into this video, though. So starting off, Doug Marrone and Dave Caldwell, former Jacksonville Jaguars head coach and GM, were both let go after the end of the season, who guys were just not good enough to get the job done. And of course, Urban Meyer stepped in as the new head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And even though he is a rookie head coach, he put together a phenomenal staff, of course, along with guys like Charlie Strong, Darrell Bevell on the offensive coordinator side, and Joe Cullen on the defensive coordinator side coming over from the Baltimore Ravens. I think Urban Meyer did a fantastic job with the staff. And even though he is going to come in as a rookie head coach in the NFL, and even though he has made some questionable decisions with Chris Doyle being the strength coach, even though he was officially not hired, Urban Meyer is a very smart football program builder, and he knows what he's doing. Even though he hasn't been on the NFL level, I expect him to come in, work hard every day, and build the correct program that this Jacksonville Jaguars team and franchise desperately needs. Now, moving on to free agency, even though the Jags didn't land any huge, ginormous free agents because of the franchise tag, guys like Justin Simmons, Marcus Williams, Leonard Williams, Marcus Mann, a handful of other key names that were thrown out there because the Jags had the most cap space heading into the NFL free agency. The Jags weren't able to land any of these guys because of the franchise tag. And a lot of Jags fans were very surprised when the Jags tagged Cam Robinson, left tackle out of Alabama, our second-round pick a couple years ago. The reason we franchise tag Cam Robinson at the left tackle spot is because the Jags needed assurance for Trevor Lawrence coming in here. Even though it was before the draft, we needed to know that Trevor Lawrence's blind side was going to be protected. Now, Cam Robinson is not the best left tackle in the world, but he's definitely not the worst guy in the world whatsoever. This is going to be a make it or break it year for Cam Robinson on this franchise tag. And now that the Jags got Walker Little, which I'll address a little bit later on in the video, the Jags now have reassurance that they're going to be able to have their left tackle of the future with Walker Little, who can now just kind of develop underneath Cam Robinson if Cam Robinson stays healthy, and Walker Little can then be the plug and play in left tackle for the future. Moving on to the rest of the Jags free agency. They re-signed Dawuane Smoot on a cheap deal, who has gotten a lot better over the years. Dawuane Smoot, a great guy. If you haven't met him, he's an amazing guy and an amazing football player, and I like his upside. They re-signed Sidney Jones to a one-year deal, Trey Herndon to a one-year deal, Tyler Shatley to a one-year deal, and of course, James O'Shaughnessy to a one-year deal. None of these guys really wowed you whatsoever. Sidney Jones, I think, has the most promise. At only 24 years of age, he's probably going to be playing the slot or in dime packages this year now that the Jags got Tyson Campbell, which I will address later on. But those were the guys that the Jags re-signed. Now, moving into the Jacksonville Jaguars free agent signings were the big key names, Marvin Jones Jr. and Shaquill Griffin. Shaquill Griffin's now going to be playing outside corner alongside CJ Henderson. And Marvin Jones Jr., a fabulous wide receiver number 2, coming to play alongside DJ Chark as well as Laviska Shenault, coming over from the NFC North. And he's pairing up with his teammate Jamal Agnew, who else the Jags did get, a return specialist and a speedy wide receiver. And both of these guys are now going to be paired up again with Darrell Bevell, their offensive coordinator over in the Detroit Lions. A couple other key notable free agents that the Jacksonville Jaguars signed in free agency was Rashawn Jenkins, safety from the LA Chargers. They also got Roy Robert Harrison, defensive lineman from the Chicago Bears. Jaheed Ward from the Baltimore Ravens, who's going to be playing with Joe Cullen again. Got Chris Manhertz, a tight end from the Carolina Panthers, who's going to be more of a run blocking tight end as well. They got Philip Dorsett, a speedy wide receiver, who honestly may or may not make the team, but as of now, Philip Dorsett will be on the team. They got Carlos Hyde back on a 2-year stint for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who has played with the franchise before. He'll probably be a third down, maybe goal line running back alongside James Robinson and Travis Etienne. And the Jags also traded for Malcolm Brown, defensive lineman from the New Orleans Saints. I like the Jags' depth that they did to address in free agency. They didn't go out and spend a lot of money and hit all the big name free agents like Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith and a handful of others. They were smart about their money right now for the future. They'll probably spend big money free agents when they feel as if the time is right for this team to compete and win in the future. But as of right now, they filled a lot of holes, and I think they did a great job in free agency getting the depth that they needed across the board on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Now, moving into the draft aspect of everything, the Jacksonville Jaguars had the biggest draft in franchise history, with them landing their franchise quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, the presumptive #1 overall pick. Jag fans everywhere are excited. The NFL community is excited to see what Trevor Lawrence is going to come in here and do. He is a generational talent, and every Jags fan, I can assure you, is very, very happy. If you guys haven't already, I did a draft day video at TIAA Bank Field. I'm going to link to that right there for you guys, where I went and interviewed a bunch of people, and I had a lot of fun doing the draft day experience in downtown Jacksonville. So if you guys wanted to, please go check that out. And I did a draft recap as well. I will put that right there for you guys as well. But the Jacksonville Jaguars, with 9 selections in this year's NFL draft, filled a lot of more necessary holes as well, as they did in free agency. But the big thing with this Jags draft is the fact that they didn't go out and address tight end, which is one of the biggest needs and still is one of the biggest needs in this year's draft. They drafted Luke Farrell with the 5th round pick out of Ohio State University, and even though he's more of a run blocking tight end, the Jags tight end room is not looking very good with James O'Shaughnessy, Chris Manhertz, and Luke Farrell. But another keynote with the Jags draft was the fact of the matter is they only drafted each position one time. They went quarterback, they went running back, they went cornerback, they went defensive line, they went edge rusher. But the Jags, like I said, they addressed the proper needs that they needed to throughout the draft. They filled a lot of holes, and I think that they got a lot more depth. They got a great value pick in Andre Cisco, our 3rd round pick, 65 overall. Safety out of Syracuse, who's going to be an absolute monster if he can recover from that ACL injury. Easily my favorite pick after Trevor Lawrence in terms of value. Travis Etienne is going to be a very good pick as well. I love what the Jags did in the draft, and as I said, if you guys want to, for a full Jags breakdown of that draft, go watch that video. For this Jags total offseason, I would give this an A- offseason. As I said, Urban Meyer came in, and I think he built the right coaching staff around this team. Guys who are ready to work hard and are dedicated to winning in a winning culture. And Urban Meyer's the perfect guy for this, who is known as a program builder. Trevor Lawrence, of course, comes in here as the franchise quarterback, our biggest draft in NFL history. The Jags got depth at every single position that they basically needed to do, except for tight end, through the draft, through free agency. They didn't go out and they didn't go do some stupid thing where they move up to the top 10 and they go and draft Kyle Pitts and they give up a lot of draft assets, or they didn't go out and spend a lot of money in free agency and just throw money at players that really weren't deserving of it. These guys were smart about their draft picks right now, at spending money on free agents right now, getting the necessary players to build around Trevor Lawrence on this offense. Darrell Bevell's going to come in and do a great job. Joe Cullen's going to be moving to a 3-4 defense. The Jags did a very good job this offseason, and I think you're going to notice the improvement in the team this year with the 17-game schedule as well. And I love what I saw from the Jags this offseason. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know, what did you guys think about the Jags offseason, and what do you think was the best move, whether it was one of the coaches in the coaching staff, whether it was a draft pick or a free agent signing, or that trade over from Malcolm Brown to the Saints. Let me know, what was your guys' favorite move, obviously outside of Trevor Lawrence, in this year's Jags offseason. But that's it for this video. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe down below for more Jacksonville Jaguars and NBA content as well. I'm going to be really pushing out a lot of NBA content once the playoffs begin, or right before the playoffs start. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much, and I'm out, boys. Peace.